The original version of this video disappeared in a vortex because I got tired of YouTube telling me this. But you know what? Screw it. If people can litter the internet with hate and AI, then I can litter it with this. So here we go again. Let's call this one Doctor Who Cares. Start with the default cube, no joke. Grab some reference images. Modeling this thing is just a bunch of boxes and extruding, maybe some loop cuts and slides, I don't know. There's like a ton of other videos detailing this build, and free models on lots of model sites. It's everywhere, just like time and space itself. I also made the textures myself. That's a skill that's probably going to die in the next decade thanks to the coming over-reliance on AI. But then again, so is math and probably language too. Speaking of language, follow me for free on Patreon and you can grab this book. I'll be updating it soon to include all known threats to creative industries. Back to the video. Once you have the thing shaded, you add in some lights. This thing is like Harry Potter tent huge on the inside, but some lights make it cool in the animation and probably help disguise it too or something. I don't know. I should probably watch the show more. Next, rig it. The rig is simple and effective. It's just parenting and naming, no bones needed. Once you have that, attach it to a curve. I go over that in crazy detail in this video above from like 4 years ago, but also on Patreon in the latest version. There's a trick I use to have the camera follow the police box and still have lots of independent control. It's all in the parenting. Once you have this set up, make the curve more interesting and build the funnel from the curve. You can make it as crazy or as boring as you want. At this point, you can go into your camera view and keyframe the whole thing to your liking. You can make it interesting or lame, that's up to you. I have absolutely no control over your life choices. Once you have something you like, shade the vortex tunnel thing. I use layers of procedural shaders here. It helps to make it a bit more interesting, and then plug stuff into the alpha and see what you get. You can also keyframe properties of the shaders too to move the effect over time if you want. This video is really fast, but I have a 2-hour long one on Patreon going from cube to final shot. There's endless possibility here, so just play. None of this looks good, so you should probably just use Houdini. If you're doing this for real, you'll get 18 notes before you leave on Friday, so just make sure to cancel your weekend plans and be in the studio. Be sure to render the subject separate from the background. This will give you latitude in your compositing. You also want to render out the correct color space or you're going to hit a snag outside of Blender. I go over that too, but it's not sexy clickbaity stuff that gets views on here, so I'll just leave that off for this. Once you render this out and you bring it into a compositor, in my case DaVinci, you can play and play and play and get the look you want. I spent lots of time here showing the one workflow I use and how I dial in lots of different looks from relatively simple Blender renders. Once you're done, render it out and marvel at the work you, a human, actually did. Be proud of it as a living being, a creature who put in sweat equity. It feels good. Feel good about it. Human. Yeah.